In a world where Africans have lost their roots, it has become of vital importance to document our ways. In an effort to reverse the brainwashing of the past, where we were made to believe our ways are demonic, we are pressed to create dignified and respectful platforms to unpack our spiritual ways. Moya light, Moya upright. Welcome to another fantastic episode. We're going back to our roots today. I know that we veered off a bit, we're getting political, and then we make it very South African, and then the American audience is like, no, but we're also here, and the people in Kenya, and the people in Taiwan, and people all over the world. So we're going back to the root, back to the base of our podcast, African spirituality. And I know that from corner to corner, coast to coast, African diaspora, we all link on this fabric, this frequency. And one big thing for us, okay, before I get into the actual show, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and also to donate to the channel. The details are on the screen. Thank you very much to everybody who is donating. We are here because of that. So now back to the matter at hand. So, sometimes we have these weird dreams and you're just like, I don't quite feel safe about this dream. Or sometimes you'll just like feel good, man, there's an extra element going on. And because we know that there are things in the spiritual dimension that are happening, we actually have to be kind of aware on how we can protect ourselves. So today's topic is Isicitho, bad luck, or when you've just got a bad shadow over you or whatever's going on. We're going to kind of unpack that. I've got Gogo Thulisa Qangule, who is our resident teacher in our Moya spiritual chat group. So if you do want to reach out, I'm going to put all her descriptions and her links in the description box. But also do join the spiritual chat group. I'll also put the WhatsApp line over there. Okay, very long intro. Molo, Mami Yakwanini Sibeu. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot of the people in the spiritual chat group will finally get to see
me.
Our resident Sanyos
in physical form. Like, oh, so that's what she sounds like. That's how she moves, that's how she dresses. Because people don't see that.
No, we don't.
You just get the voice note or the long text.
And that's what's so fascinating is that, gifted children, you've actually, this sounds terrible, but it's actually such the app description. You've almost got special needs. And I know that because I'm like that also. Mm-hmm. So you need to be dealt with in a specific way, understood in a specific way. Let's start from the beginning. I mean, could not have been easy being a child for you. Let's get to know you.
So what you're asking me is, when did you realize you were special? Kind of.
Special. At least you got it.
That's the long way around this question, right? So, look, I didn't know that not everyone is like this. And I think that's how it just never traumatized me. Because for me, it was just always a sense. You've always been able to hear, right? And see. So for me, it's this thing that just always happened. So stuff would happen, and I'd sit there on some, especially with my friends, when I was a kid. And I think because, there are enough people in the family who are like this, for me, sitting around the dinner table and just casually saying, hey guys, I wonder, this. The next person is also relaying what they dreamt or what they're feeling and whatnot. And it's always, on point. So for me, it was like, but what's wrong with all these people out here that don't have... So I thought people were ill or disabled, like they were special. Not me. And that's always been my attitude. Like, I don't let it, I don't
So
go
then
into,
when you were small, I'm sure your parents would want you to keep quiet. And what are some, oh, so you've always grown up in a space.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So give us
no.
that. Yeah.
The family chatterbox, I mean, one of my cousins 2 weeks ago sent me a text message. I placed something on my Facebook status and stuff. And she was like, yo, I'll change you. Now you've been doing this since you were a kid. Like the most profound things just come out of your mouth. And sometimes you sense that it's not you, but it's like you're just the channel, So people kind of love it. But when I'm quiet and I'm not saying anything, people are kind of like, it was the FM, it's not switching on. What's wrong? Why is she quiet? Like, she's not saying anything. That's how it is.
So give me your life journey, like
In terms of
where you grew up, so that we get to know you before you give us. You can't just come here and be like, yeah, it's Isicitho, this. We need to trust you first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Small rural town.
Yeah.
Alice in the Eastern Cape that is now very academic. And I'm growing up in this home that is headed by a professor who's an author. Thulisa Qangule. So ucwanini is that. When you come home, you sit in the study, you read. Like it's not negotiable. So to me, incwadi ne-Barbie doll were equally important. You know what I mean? It was like, when was the last time you went to the library? And because you're not going to come and tell us the latest trend, your teddy bear and whatever. We want to see that you're applying this as well as, your other spiritual eye. So I think that grounded me.
So they knew you were spiritual when you were small?
I don't know. Like I'm saying, I suspect everyone in my family is like this.
Okay.
People channel, but in different ways. You know what I mean? Because I think even that guy, ucwanini, heading the home, the stuff he would write, the poems that he would, there's one that he titled Intshuntshe. In my view, Intshuntshe ngumkhonto. But you had to be cryptic because it's apartheid days. So you're a poet and you channel. So I think he did what I do, but he would sit and write these things down. I don't. I get on the phone and I'm like, Ntsiki, Dibona 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to write it down. I'm not going to make a movie. So that's how it kind of splits. So it's nothing special in the family. You know what I mean? Because now, umakhulu naye ngapha, it's the same thing. She would wake up and she trusted whatever she saw.
So you see everything in dreamland, or how do the visions happen?
So I think everything would happen at the same time, but I didn't know what it was called. When you grow older and you're sitting in class and now they're putting a name to it, that this is meditation, this is channeling, this is mediumship. And you're like, oh, but this is the thing I've been doing. Like, I've been doing this all my life. And just to explain it to you, auntie, who was my nanny, reported that one day I said I was seeing ikhetla outside. So in my world, dilandela lotata. Dahlala right at the back of the house. She reported that I was found didlala notam. Innocently, like I'm like da 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 da, like it's a teddy bear. And you know how people are scared of those things. So I think that was the first time, because she went back endlini and she was like, yo, this is not an everyday occurrence. I've been babysitting abantwana for for quite a long time. I've never seen a toddler just play around.
In English?
It's what is it? It's not a lizard. What is that thing?
But it's bigger than a lizard. Like a Komodo dragon vibe. Those ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like one of those. I don't know why the name.
Okay.
Because when we're done recording, that word is going to
Yes,
come and I'm going to
yes,
be
yes,
like,
yes.
how? Where was it? You know, because even ingoma esinazo,
Yes.
kuthiwa baqabe noxam and
Yes.
whatnot. So from there, kwakho utatomdala ucwanini kwalapha kwaQangule, who laughed it off because now apparently ekhaya, like it would happen kufunyanwe uxam under somebody's car. Like imoto ipakile egarage and it would be, and that's when I realized that it's one of the animal totems. Zocwanini. In addition to inyosi, in addition, you know, to other things. But for me, it was like a live intro. I never dreamt about uqam and had to tell somebody. It was like this direct thing, and I'm playing with it. And I'm very glad it happened when I was like 3 or 4 or however old I was. Because if uqam angangenapha ngoku, I would, your studio's gone. Forget it. I would see people. Again, I wouldn't know that Ntsiki, and then the person I'm seeing, mhlambi apha okanye apha, is not physical. So I'm 5 years old now, swimming pool at Forte. I'm sitting there and I refuse to go in the water because I'm seeing this girl in a red and white swimming costume falling in and drowning. Time on the watch is like 2 o'clock. Everyone is like, like, what is your problem? What are you, you know? And these are things that would make parents question, like, is our child okay? Bonumdo o drownileyo a swimming pool, and there's absolutely nothing. Fine, we went back home because I refused to swim. At about 6 that evening, Forte University phones the house.
There was a drowning.
Uma answers, yeah, there's just been a drowning, and guess what? The girl was wearing a red and white cozy, just like your little one there was seeing. How many hours later? So I was that kid that at times got confused. I would walk in the house and lounge and be like, Ma, like there's a guy waiting for you. And only when I describe, see that one that had the side parting in the hair, bumbona, is actually, oh, great. I mean, you're actually seeing. Yeah. But I thought it was normal. I thought it was normal. I really just thought this happens to everyone. So I would probably be asking you at school, but what's wrong with you? Don't ask me, go, you know, like it happens. They visit, you know, you see things. And yes, I would dream. And then yes, in some of the dreams, I would literally feel myself being pulled out of my body, going through walls. And every time I would have a dream like that, I would know about, okay, so that taught me also how to differentiate between a spiritual dream and just a dream. Like I'm sitting on YouTube watching some, say, Gogo Thulisa's content, and then the next thing, like, no, that's not the one, because we didn't, you know, there are signs within the dream. So I know to wake up and just like discard it, laugh about it. That's how I know that mantete ngoku. So because this dream is no longer, you know, just or I'll get sense at times. And then a specific scent that takes me back to the dream. Maybe in the dream, and then I start smelling salt water, and then I'm like, ooh, I need to go back and tell this person.
So let's get into Isicitho. You know, you're just saying now the ability to discern when your dreams are telling you stuff and when they're not. So let's break it down.
How do you wake up how do you feel when you wake up? That's one. I've had some funky dreams ndivuke ekuseni where I literally have aches in my body. And then I know. But look, this fight that I had in the dream was not just a fight, because now I'm up and I'm not my bubbly, hyperactive self. That's one. Or your emotions. I mean, you wake up and ooh, that was a burp that I suppressed. And I was hoping, I was like, please, dear Bantu Batala, don't embarrass me. Please behave. So your emotions also, because people can project stuff. So depending on the type of isicitho that someone is sending you, the whole lunch bar thing is when someone has taken your picture and mixed tea with poop and either left it in a felt or left it in the toilet thing. What is it called? Toilet tub or toilet seat. And then they'll close it, but banga flash. And the more it ferments, the more ustabande gonyanya. Then lizote. Like everywhere you go, people just don't feel you. People don't like you. Kuthi kusathethwa ngawe kubekho umuntu othi hayi man ndika ntombazana waMazwai. They don't know you, but already it's like this thing that moves ahead of you. Wherever you go, it's the shadow. Sisithunzi salapho. Up until you know what it is, it will continue because you're not doing anything to remove it or lift it.
Okay, so unpack that for us.
So a lot of witchcraft depends on secrecy. Kuthiwa ngesiZulu okuboniwe ngokunqotshiwe. Let's say I've placed a bomb under your couch there, right? You don't know that there's a bomb. So, we're shooting and you've got absolutely no clue because for one reason or another, your ears are blocked. So you're not hearing the little tick, 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 tick. Ntsiki, can you check under your chair? Of course, it's going to detonate and destroy this entire space because you don't know about it. If you keep your vibration high, the chances that you will intuitively, like this will be the day that you walk in and you're like, no guys, I think namhlanje I want...
Let's move this chair.
Let's move the chairs around. Yes. Sing amawenu ngoku, tapping at your door. When they intervene like that, that's straight up divine intervention. You don't need me. You don't need to pick up the phone and be like, oh, Gogo, hey, I found, things under my couch. Because all I'm going to tell you is, you now know. That empowers you to now pray against it or use whatever you use. Some people, we work with different things. Some people work with spirit, abanye basebenza symbols, abanye basebenza ngamayeza, abanye abantu bayathandaza. So we've got different powers. There's no generic, remedy where I'm going to say no. It will depend on how your people work. For as long as you don't know, it's going to carry on. And that's why you have generational curses. It's the curse that was placed there before you were born. You don't know anything about it, but you keep seeing certain family patterns. You'll find families where in each generation there's this thing where all the men go to jail. All the women don't have kids. Or no one makes money. No one, but no, man, this is not organic. All these people, or everybody dies, violently in a family because the mouth also inchwabul. You might have a great-grandfather who beat someone up. Wamshwabulela. Mhlawumbe.
Yini ukushwabula?
Ukushwabula is to verbally curse. Ngizokubonisa wena. None of your children will succeed and yonke inzala yakho izawuphelela izokwazwa. Let's say this is 200 years ago. You don't know that when you're born. Then you're coming into this family where you're like, Ekaya, every other weekend there's somebody getting stabbed, there's someone getting shot, there's what is this? That's also a sign. Look into that.
So then what do you do? I mean, what are some of the signs that, can you explain to us what is Isicitho and what are some of the signs?
Yeah. Isicitho is any negative energy that is sent to you in any shape, form, or manner. Because what I'm seeing out here now, recently, people talk about Isicitho and they're referring to a relationship. You know, you're competing for a guy. And then, yes, of course, Isicitho, because now you're praying to break these people up. But I could sit there and pray that somebody gets fired because I want their position. Isicitho, muti or no muti. The fact that in my heart, I am sitting there because everything you think, your energy is constantly in a state of prayer, by the way. This is what a lot of people don't know. So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's the seed. I've already planted the seed. Yokuchita. You need not find pieces of amayeza and then get confused. I mean, but she doesn't use muti. I've never seen this woman.
How do we protect ourselves from that?
You protect yourself. So I'm gonna.
Okay, I'm going to
protect yourself.
Okay,
No. Perfect color. If you sit and visualize yourself inside an egg type of thing that is made of glass, so you can see what's going on in the world can see you, but nothing can penetrate. Things, gold is this color that enables transmutation. Silver as well. That's why some healers actually wear bangles. And you'll find copper, silver, and gold on them. It's for, so they might not like visualizing, or you'll forget. There are days where you forget and, you know, you had a good time out last night and you're not necessarily, you know, in a space to sit and be like, you know, bring my golden shell. You can actually work on it by wearing certain colors as well. Funny enough, black absorbs negative energy, all of it. Black tourmaline crystals, or just dressing in black or dark colors, anything coming at you gets absorbed. If you go up north, Mozambique, you know, Shona people as well, abantu abanomdao will wear black or red. And that's just to deflect negative energies. Or they'll wear white, because white reflects like a mirror. So anything coming at me, it'd be a lemva. If you don't want to visualize gold, you can visualize a mirror. You know those disco balls? Okay. Just put yourself, astrally dunk yourself inside a disco ball. Guess what's going to happen? Whether I'm sending you love or jealousy or hatred or whatever, ibuyela kum thrice. Now, if I'm sitting there and I'm like, I suddenly feel strangled, right, in my, let's say in my throat, I need to check in with myself. Was I in any way trying to maybe silence Ntsiki? Because what's happening possibly is that it's not you doing anything. It's my energy that wanted to say, shut up. Iyabuya, and I don't know that you've put up your disco ball. Which makes us think about then what is witchcraft? Because I could now come out in public and say, Ntsiki. I got to her house and I started, coughing and whatnot. Ungathakathanga mntu. Kubuya into zam. That you have nothing to do with, that you know nothing about, right? You're also sitting there going, I did something to you? Oh, okay. She's crazy. And that's why Isicitho is just not advisable. People think they can use Isicitho to get ahead. I'm going to use Isicitho on my rival in love. I'm going to use Isicitho, at work, or I'm going to use Isicitho in the family or whatnot. It comes back. If not to you, it comes back to the next generation. Comes back and it taxes the rest of your family.
So, because we're all human. Someone's going to be jealous of you anytime, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, then?
You look at them as if they are these screens here, right? Don't let it bother you. Let it glide off of you. Like, oh, thank you for showing me that you feel that way about me. Like, thank you. Now you've actually exposed yourself, but you're jealous of me. Thank you for exposing that. And then you deal with it differently.
What are some of the signs? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Some of the signs that you might have Isicitho in your...
Dreaming about poop is one of them and is the most common.
Yes.
If you start getting symptoms that you can't explain, like I was saying, you wake up one day, for instance, the depression is not something that you can mark and say, depression on the 12th of November 2016. No. It's gradual. But I could have sat there, I want her to not like herself, low self-esteem.
People do this.
Yes, in her emotions. I want her to not see her inner light. I want her to not know who she is. And then we see this weird transformation in a person all of a sudden. I mean, smart, intelligent, and they used to be so, vivacious and bubbly. What on earth happened? They're dragging their feet and whatnot. Yes, it could be clinical, but it could also be something and there's a lot of it. Where you find a jealous, either family member or neighbor or whatnot, one parent who's doing well and stuff like that. Out of nowhere. Come on now, even that madness is not something that just starts where there's a marked, definite moment where you're like, no, she went and recorded an episode, Ntsiki, and then on her way home, Zati Kwi. That's abnormal, because if there was madness coming along, no, guys, you would have seen it. Kubekwe signs gradually, where you're like, no, man, but this pot was simmering for quite some time, and then she reached, there's no kettle that just reaches boiling point. So izinto ezenziwa ngabantu tend to take that exact pathology.
So if you had to dream if you dream of poop, then what would you have to do?
There's different things. It depends on the context of the poop. So you dream about the poop. What happened in the dream? Did it conquer you, or were you able to get rid of it? Because if you were able to get rid of it and discard it in the dream, then...
Togos.
And embarrassa. Twanini is rebels. Oh Lord. Yeah. So if you, even a fight, right? If you won the fight in the dream, you don't have to go and do anything. Because we But that is a revelation for you. Spirit is just saying, "Awulele wena." There's a lot of activity. Watch out. There are people who don't like you. It's so and so and so and so. Kanje na kanje na kanje. It's not even for you to wake up and tell that person, actually. I find that empowering. So that I know, but you know, you don't let the other person know
That you
know, because they're going to change strategy. When you dream about it and it's poop, it tells you how it was done. That spirit telling you what type of isicitho it is. But okay, this is when somebody took your picture or wrote your name down, pooped on it, and then added umutigoi. It's also giving you, so when you dream about these things, unikwe clues as to how the person did it. Another thing that I experienced, so I was sitting in a park, right from literally seconds after seconds after sitting down. Ants, and it's those big ones that you find on graves. And they kept crawling up and down. Awkwardly enough, they couldn't get close to me. It was almost as if I've got a protective bubble or whatever. That's also spirit. I'm not dreaming, it's happening in real time, but that's when spirit is showing me somebody's doing a death spell on your ass.
People do death spells on people.
Oh, they do. That's why ukuba nabantu abadala is such a blessing, because you get to see the stuff almost like live without you don't need to go consult, because you're either going to dream about it or you're going to see signs like in physical form. Okay, something's up.
Sure.
It's not like spirit is fast asleep. They also know how to be on some, girl, you know you better. You know, that's what they're doing. So I always just at times tell people, take care, don't panic. When you wake up from a bad dream, the first thing you need to do is to say thank you. I had someone, I woke up one morning after dreaming about a snake crawling out my coochie. Pitch black snake. Ingathi ibifakiwe, and I had no knowledge of it. And my grandmother came and literally just yanked it out. But I didn't see, I wasn't shown who or where this thing came from. And then I said, okay, fine. Bantu badala gave me a sign. The very next text on my phone was from a man on the Tumeli invitation. In a shellering manner. And then I was like, could it be? Okay, let's just let the day pass and see what goes on. Went back the next day, did my connecting, did my own reading to say, Spirit, help me. Is this the person? Boom, there it was. So I didn't have to do a lot of work, you know, cleanser or whatnot, because I'm just like, okay, my people have their ways of sorting this out, but not everyone is like that.
That's the thing, right?
Not everyone is like that. So
is a poop dream always isicitho? Always?
I've never heard of it or experienced it. I never have. Really, you know. Then Gogo isicitho, and people might not like this. Gogo isicitho that are prescribed by izangoma, who then don't inform their clients that le method ndikunika yona apha sisichitho. Uhambe wena uyokwenza le nto ixelelwe phaa. Uthi uyalungisa because andithi this is a healer. So makhosi uzibani uthe xa ndifika endlini funeka ndithi. And you don't know that's isichitho. Yeah. Because kuyeza elimnyama, kubekho iyeza elibomvu, kubekho iyeza elimhlophe.
What does that mean now?
So your herbs, they're the dark ones, then you have the red ones, then you've got your ones that bring light. So let's say you need to unblock inhlanhla. What's supposed to happen is this person, just to cleanse you. Thathwe elimhlophe to open your path. They might give you iyeza elimnyama, but you must stand behind the door at night. And then uvuthele lento. You don't know what you're doing. And my underground gang now have you. They like, you're going to be like that. Mntaneni wethu. Boom. Now you've experienced complications and you don't understand, but what did I do? This is how you also get people saying, but kudala ndihamba abantu nje, and I've been, I've followed zonke izinto endizinikiweyo and whatnot. Again, my first question is usually, were you given any instructions to harm somebody? Were you given any instructions baphindisela? Because if you have, that person should have actually said to you, you must now come back to cleanse that.
So ideally, when you protect yourself and you pray and stuff, you shouldn't send anything back. It's just
Not
protection.
Not you.
Because then you're messing with karma and now you are putting
Attracting
out
it
energy.
to yourself. Yes. And you actually don't have a leg to stand on, like your like spirit, even your guides can't protect you because you chose to do this thing.
And that's now witchcraft.
Your hands are now dirty. Which is very different to me getting down on my knees and saying, okay, this is the situation. Take care of it for me. In whichever form that you guys see fit. If I wake up and I'm hearing a story, about that person or whatever, listen, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I've remained clean because when I did that prayer, undivile usmakade, bandivile abasemoyeni. They assigned who must then come forward. Batuma, whoever is the person that is most aligned with that particular task, like in your spirit team, then they're gonna send that one. If you've got if you've got an ancestor who was a soldier, and you're in a situation apho ngoku usempini, kuzawufika lo. They're not gonna send your docile ancestor now because they will delegate and assign. The spirit is not dumb.
So incredible. So poop in the dream is one of them, and then what's some of the other signs? Yeah, no. We have to get all this information because we want success.
There's poop in the dream. At other times, you're traveling. Or you literally feel in the dream, your engine is dying on you and you come to a stationary point, right? That's likely someone working on your career or progression.
Holy snap.
And now you're being told, but listen, watch your journey because something or someone is slowing it down.
Oh, wow. So when you see these things in your dream, it's just a matter of being conscious of it so that you start moving in a way that protects yourself. What about sex in dreams?
Sex in dreams is tricky. It's a very tricky space because they'll say if you dream that you're intimate with someone, watch it because it's clear. Right.
I've heard that. Uh-huh.
But there's another school of thought that abantu abanomdawo are highly sexual.
Yeah.
And so that's going to happen, especially when they are showing you who you should be with. Right. Then I heard it, I think it was on another podcast where someone was mentioning that it could even be close.
Okay.
Ube ungenwe ngumuntu nje that oh they loved their cloth.
Okay.
And bahamba nawe and now they're like, hey, get me some action. Right. So now you can't just conclude. Oh, ndipuphe kanje. And now you self-diagnose, you're like, definitely. Banpete sisichitho, because it might not. And that's where consultation comes in. That's where you then find someone who's gifted enough to have a look for you, whether bazopula or they're going to read your aura or whatever it is, just to verify.
When you feel like you've been penetrated, you wake up and you feel like you've been penetrated, is that isicitho? Or it's what?
I cannot even call that isicitho. I always refer to that as an astral.
Snap. Things like that happen?
That's how serious it is. Did you pray and meditate and astrally connect to, let's say, Ubongani over there, where you have this, spiritual connection? No, you didn't. Is that person your lover? Are you in a relationship at that moment? No, you're not. So what the hell are you doing in my space? Your space.
Why can I feel you?
Yes, your space is not just physical. Your space is also your etheric body, your spirit body. So what is this person? Can you explain what is this person doing? And for that, I also teach people how to set spiritual boundaries. I generally don't like people that are not of my spiritual ancestry or spiritual lineage in my dreams. I'm very quick.
What do you mean? What are spiritual boundaries and how do you got them?
Spiritual boundaries being exactly what we're talking about. There are people who can intrude your dream space. And in fact, I'm going to make a request that you bring O Prophet Mamane back, because I feel this that I'm bringing up now, this is like his realm. There are people who can influence your dream state. So I decide, okay, this is what I want Ntsiki to think about or to do or whatever it is, and I manipulate things around so that every time ulala upuphana nam. But kunjalo nje angocwanini, so that's where that spiritual lineage comes from. You've never met me, you don't know me, but now there are all these people coming in and out of your dream space. Before I go to bed, I'm very strict about that. My prayer is, let nothing, if it is someone outside, let it be because that person's guides really need my help, so that I can then wake up and contact that person and do what I'm doing. But I just don't want a traffic in my astral space at all.
Sure.
Because you'll feel like you've been penetrated, you wake up exhausted. Right? And thereafter, how many things go wrong in that day, on a day like that? You'll find that's the day your neighbor fights with you. You go to the shops, your card is not working, or there's something wrong with your car, and all of this stuff. Oh, hell no. And those are things to immediately action. You don't, like if you wake up from a dream like that, I feel sad for people that work in, in corporate spaces where you can't just take leave on the spot, because ideally what's meant to happen is you go see someone now, that day. You
Snap.
get it sorted, because the longer you don't do something about it, the longer it ferments. Okomqombothi. Iyatsala. And it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger, because all you need to do is to dunk it in, is to plant it in. The bigger you grow, the bigger this thing grows as well. Oh, hell no.
You know what's fascinating about this topic is that, even though people might want to distance themselves from African spirituality, you will still find Christians going to Sangoma to be like, something is going on. There's bad luck. So how do we, what's that about?
I actually love it. I love it because so I identify as a medium. And I realize that when I do that, those types, the exact types you're talking about, will be like, at least when we're medium, until they realize that man ain't bored. But
And that a medium is Sangoma.
And then they like, oh, can't it's colonization, all of it. It's being taught demoni, it's evil. In some instances, there's been trauma. There are families that have had experienced the trauma, either kwathwalwa or somebody did something bad spiritually. Mhlambe kwento zenzekayo gobela that abuse people, and then an executive decision is taken, but never again, no more. As anything, kwafika nje anybody ethi ndiphuphile or ndivile or whatever, siyayivala. And so there you have someone born into that family. Oyibonayo kanye maneyiva lento. Obviously, they're going to have to secretly, go, because they feel called upon to be the one that goes, and helps, even if secretly or from a distance. So I understand people like that. Omnye abe une calling, straight up.
Yeah.
But they come from this family where they know that ndenza ithini. Anofike ekhaya ndithi stone.
AmaKrestu.
Bazogibisela iBhayibhile ne-frankincense. Sathethayo.
I know, right? You've got demons and...
Yeah. And then kwenziwa umthandazo, because sasithe RIP man kwabantu kuteni bezohlupha umntana ngoku.
So, when there is a curse on a family, so then how would that family know? I mean, besides seeing that, gosh, there's no good luck coming into this family, how do we get the family in one line so that some sort of healing can happen?
You might not. And that's where idealism comes in, where we tend to think, no, I need to get it right. I need to get it perfect. I need to get people, in agreement first. Sometimes you need to forget that. If you are the one, and we are zivawen by to fix it, you're going to be the one remelayo or yenzayo in whichever way you find. Forget trying to find, the perfection, because it might be beyond repairs. Idamage yenzeke kwakwaba bantu. For you to still go and ask for approval. Like, are you crazy? You know what I mean? If I'm convinced that what you're doing is demonic, uzawumane ufika mane uzonkqonkqoza mane usithi yethule mani masambe mani kudala ndiphupha le nto bafuneka ndikuse ntontoni. Come on, I'm gonna fight you every day. Every time I see you, I'm praying against you. I'm opening Bible and I'm like, you know, and you're also gonna feel it at some point. You know what? I'm not welcome in her space. She doesn't want me there. Da 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 da. I was taught that you can intervene from a distance. You don't have to be physically there.
So as a young healer, you can heal your broken family
At a distance.
in your own lumsam or in your flat.
And they don't have to know. Because the other challenge is people want to talk because they want to be given that credit. Like, kwalunga, yendim, you know,
Yes.
you know, I'm the one that actually, you know,
Yes.
you don't need to. You don't need to.
Yo.
And it will just be something that's between you and your God and your underground gang. But you know what? I made something transform over there. And they don't even know. Yeah, they don't even know. They don't have to.
That is beautiful.
Because it's not about the, you know, I don't know, shine or clout or, you know, we want to go. Yeah, which is another thing that I don't understand. People will go on social media and carry on about, oh, this is so amazing. You know, I've done this for this one and I've done this for that one. And I'm always like, but why? Why? If you're doing charity work as well, CSI, do you have to go and announce that you've given 10 children a plate of food today? You don't have to. So why are we doing it spiritually?
Ego.
When you are given this gift, we are tunga, go heal, ambulungis. Now you're going to do it.
Thank you.
Let's just say, ndithunywa kuwe, and I find you in a space where you're like, psh, later. It's okay. Ndizawubuyela kulo ondithumileyo. Ndiye bantu abadala. Ntsiki wenu akafuni.
She's not ready.
She's being rebellious. Nina ngicela nindiguide ke ngoku. And these are not my people. These are now your people ebebefike banthuma, right? It could happen that the response that I get is, I guess siyakhulula yeka, but we understand. So they understand, and my karma is clean because zange ndithunywe ndala. My karma is clean. They also understand. But ngulo wethu unenkani. And Dallas Tumela Bandu, and you know, nothing could be done. Or they could come back, Mati Jonga. So every day when you wake up, it could be I'm lighting a candle and doing petitions on your behalf, and you don't know. And you might catch up mhlambe 5 years later. Maybe 5 years later, you catch up and even see that it was me. Bengonubuyayo uthi ha, Thuli kanti. Oksalayo, you've been saved from whatever it is. I'm not sitting there 5 years later with a sordid story. But I knew. I knew. There's nothing worse than that. And then you ask yourself, and then why don't you do something? Why don't you say something? I'm just Ntsiki is headed in the wrong direction. And then what did you do?
So now just to end off, I mean, we always hear things of we can use to protect ourselves, like salt and whatever, and candles and whatever. Yes. So can you give us a little bit on that?
If If you've got a method that works for you and you know what it is, stick to that. So you don't have to be looking at what other people do, because methods is it as fun. Omnye umuntu mhlambe holy ash iyamsebenzela. Doesn't mean it's gonna work on me. Reason, lo muntu uyenzileyo has sent you spirits. They are now using imikovu or jinn spirits or whatever. And this entity that is still in you, yagungena lala nawe or whatever it is, you think you're going to use salt? You think you're going to use impepo? Because that's literally possession. There's something that literally has gone into your body. No, go find inyanga that is gifted and specifically in Ukfemba, which is the African exorcism.
Hectic.
Because I call ikiwa.
Hectic.
No,
No, but we can't assume that all of us who feel like some type of things now need to go find Nyanga and Femba and...
for you to even get there, if you go and consult, umuntu nje obonayo, get a second opinion. Because it might be and it might not be.
That's the thing with African spirituality, you know, it's so vague and so...
At times it
know.
is, but you don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
So umuntu obonayo is like, ewe, ikhona. But now here's your grandmother saying she's already sorted it. Like spiritually, she's already sorted it. So relax, you don't have to do anything. That's where the consulting helps. It's like going to the doctor and just getting a stethoscope and just to check your heartbeat and the vitals and whatever. And if it's like that, cool. If it needs cleansing, cool. Because imi moya yethu ayifani. Anganisebenzela amanzi, there's no guarantee that the next person amanzi do anything. Niphume emanzini every day kungenzeki nix. Atshisa impepho every day kungenzeki nix, kanti isolution yintoni? Mhlamba abantu bakowabo bafuna abeke utshwala, you know, enze something different that we don't know. And exactly, consulting will also tell you that.
Sure.
Ba wena kuthiwa ubotshwe kanje, and your ancestors say this is your method. So there's an element of customization that goes into it. So you can't, just like ubuhlalu, you can't just say, oh, and then now you also go and you know, and wear that color.
You gotta know yourself.
You gotta know yourself and what it means for you.
Sure. Thanks, Gogo Thuli. This topic can go on for ages, and I'm sure you're going to get lots of messages and lots of people saying, I dreamt this. What does this mean? Thank you for taking the time to be with us. We really appreciate it.
Yes. We're still going to Zoom it.
Oh, yes. We do have our
We're still going to Zoom this.
Yes. So all the paid subscribers, you know, to join our WhatsApp group. It is a members-only group. So those of us who are supporting the channel have got little perks like that. Thank you to everybody else. We see your support. Please remember, this channel is not one that YouTube will be pushing and promoting. So it's actually your responsibility to make sure that the word goes out, because you're not going to get this type of education in the schools that you take your children to. Gamalam, Ntsiki, Mazwai, please like, share, and subscribe. And the banking details are there. Please continue supporting the channel. Sintanda nonke makhaya.
Who are you when all you were has been diluted by lies and white lines cancelling out all that which has been written of your history? Why do you look at yourself as a mystery? Doesn't the sun shine because you open your eyes? Doesn't the moon stay situated within the same stars your DNA sparkles off? Your spirit knows that surely khona into off. Buza umoya so you may return to being well off. Because spiritually you are rich, yet your ancestors cry because you are out of reach. But yours is to command all elements while God takes inspiration from the very mirror she looked at to become. Remember who you are and never finish just when they think that with you they are done.